All right, we're live. Welcome to Cover One, the NFL Draft Prospect Preview. Appreciate it, Thomas Burke, in the chat right there. I get super pumped when people are just pumping me up right now. So I'm Russell Brown. With me, Zach Hicks. CP Christian Page could not make it today, but today we're doing a little prospect preview, and we're going to be following Javonte Williams, the running back out of North Carolina. So I don't know if a lot of people know who he is. If you are looking for a running back, I think you need to look into the backfield at North Carolina. There's two talented running backs, Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. It's really take your pick. And I'll be honest, when I go into, and we'll get into the film in just a moment, I promise. But whenever I go into and I look at this backfield, I think back to a few years ago, Sony Michel, Nick Chubb. I'll say it all day long on the timeline at Russ NFL Draft. I'm not saying they're the same players, but I do believe it's a similar situation as far as these are guys that, they're very similar as far as take your pick and who might be the better back. And I think that's really what it's going to be. So I don't know. We'll get into the film. What's your spin on? I know you watched Michael Carter. You haven't really watched Williams yet. What's your spin on Carter?
Honestly, I will say again before we jump in this, and first off, before I even answer that, 40 of you guys are watching this. You guys are insane. If you guys are Bills fans tuning into a draft show, you guys have an AFC Championship game to get ready for. So here, what we'll do is put in the comments. You can put down your score prediction for the Bills game this weekend, so you guys can talk a little bit of Bills there in the comments. But yeah, no, from what I've seen from Michael Carter so far, I see an elusive, explosive. He looks like a smaller back. As what I haven't really studied these guys too much, so I've only really seen them, from kind of seeing out the corner of my eye, watching other players. But from when I watch Carter, I mean, he looks like an explosive, elusive guy. Really good contact balance, catches the ball pretty well from what I've seen. But from what I've seen also from Williams, he looks like the same type of guy. He kind of does the same type of stuff. Bigger. I think he's a little bit bigger though, right? I don't know. You probably know better than me.
Now, Javonte Williams is the bigger back of the two. He's listed at 5'10", 220. That's what he's listed at. So, I mean, you always – yeah, and I mean, he looks every bit at 220. That's the thing with Williams. He looks every bit of it. He's got a nice, thick lower body. I can't wait to jump in. So, I mean, let's just jump in and we'll get into it. So I had taken like all of the clips that I had of Javonte Williams. Some were broadcast angles and some were not. This is the only broadcast one, I believe. So it's against Duke, and it's just a simple, stiff arm, two stiff arms, and just showing off everything that I've talked about. Contact balance. He finds an opening. He finds the lane. He hits the hole, gets off one tackle, off another, and there he goes. And like he does this consistently all the time.
Yeah, people just bouncing off him. This is, again, I think a lot of Bills fans are watching this. I think this is a big thing that the Bills definitely need, is a guy who can not only break some tackles, but also has that explosiveness to kind of keep going. Singletary and Moss, they break a lot of tackles, but they don't have the explosiveness here that we're going to see from Williams. And this one right here, you can probably see from this quick cut that he's going to hit the second gear.
Yeah, and he's changing direction right away. He sees 13 here off the edge coming. He sees him once he gets the exchange, and he's got to quickly see this opening. And this is huge. You can get a semi through here, right? So he sees it, and it's not even, he doesn't even hit that hole. He hits actually, what is that? The tackle or the guard, the pulling guard. He gets the linebacker, kicks him out, and he finds the opening, and he's a cut. And then it's just, he bounces off through the traffic here.
Yeah, really nice pin and pull concept too by North Carolina. If you look at go back to the beginning of the play here, they do a really nice job at you're pinning down the line here with the outside guys. I think the tackle and the guard are pinning down. I believe I don't know if the tackle does. You might have to play the clip again, but I believe they're pinning down, and you got that guard pulling around and kicking out. Just a really nice concept here that you got going from North Carolina, and Williams sets us up really well. He sets to that outside, comes back in behind that pole. Just a really, really nice concept, and he hits that hole really well.
Yeah, I mean, hell of a job by the left tackle, to be completely honest.
And JFO here, he's asking about if he's there in the late second, will they pull the trigger? I don't know if they'll pull the trigger, but I think that he could be there. I mean, we've seen running backs slip in years past, a lot of good ones too. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
slipped pretty far last year, and he, had much more of the production and even the all the measurables that Williams probably won't even have.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think Najee Harris will be the only running back probably selected in the first round. I could be wrong, but like Travis Etienne could be there. I think it's going to be Harris, though, as the first back off the board. And I mean, we could see a surprise. Certainly, one of these guys could sneak in there, kind of like Clyde Edwards-Helaire did last year. But at this point, I think he'd be there in day 2. I just don't know if the Bills will be there like that late. I think late 60s, he's probably gone. I would have to think. I think the top 4 backs are Carter, Williams from North Carolina, and then Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. I think those are your top 4 running backs in this draft. But here he is in pass pro, and just to kind of give some information as far as what he provides there, he's only allowed 2 pressures and 2 hurries on 64 pass blocking attempts this season alone. So pretty solid all the way across the board in what he needs to be doing there. Love it.
Yeah, no, I love running backs who pass block. That's people don't talk about it enough, and I think the Bills have some good ones too in Singletary and Moss. But yeah, dude, I love running backs who can pass block, and he actually identifies the stunt here really well. He's actually pretty patient with that stunt coming up the middle. I believe that's a stunt, or maybe the guy just gets clocked coming on the ball late blitz. But I believe it's a stunt. He's stunting around the blitzer. And that's a really clean pickup there by Williams.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent on tape all the time too. And I mean, he plays mean, he plays aggressive. Here he's following the left guard and the tight end, and the next 2 plays are identical plays, just different parts of the game. A little stiff with his lower body on the cut, but I mean, he's following. He knows his tight end's there, and he just sees that opening and he hits it. Nothing overthinking, nothing like it. He's not overthinking. He's just running, and I love it. Now, granted, the defensive end did a terrible job. He falls down, trips up, but he's showing again. He's getting off tackles all the time. Nice cut off one tackle and just barrels forward.
It's very patient. It's like if you go back to it, it's like a sidestep almost when he's following that. When he's kind of reading that, it's very interesting. It's because obviously it's not like it kind of looks like he's skipping from this angle. He's like skipping and sidestepping behind it. It
looks like a guy that's played linebacker for much of his life, and he's literally just taking that slide, that little skip step, and then he's there.
Yeah, and also I love that he actually gets to, if you just go back one more time here, he gets to that outside shoulder of his lineman. Here. Yeah, he gets to the outside shoulder of his lineman, so that defensive end has to get to that outside and force him back in, and he opens up that hole a lot bigger for himself. That's gorgeous running. I really like the patience on that. And the sidestepping while keep maintaining his speed, I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's a really nice run.
Yeah, that's just you bring up a good point. That's a guy understanding the responsibilities of the defense. He knows he's going to play outside in there, right? So he knows he's got to push this back inside, and that's exactly what he does. And he's fine with – he knows he's getting 4 or 5 yards on that, but he obviously gets more. But he does it – he just does it all the time.
Yeah, again, right there, you can see the same kind of patience there where, he sets up inside. He's able to hop right outside with just a really quick sidestep. It's not like a jump cut or anything like that, but it's like he's sidestepping, but he's maintaining speed on these sidesteps here, which is really interesting to me. It's like he's gliding on the outside, breaks down the defensive back. Just, again, these aren't like his huge, amazing plays, but these are just gorgeous runs here. I mean, he has a streaking defender right down the middle unblocked on that play, and he's able just to sidestep to the outside and then break down the defensive back for a bigger gain. I mean, that's really nice running right there.
Yeah, and you love how he throttles down, gives a little wiggle, and then just gets up to the sideline. And it doesn't have to be flashy. And I think that's why I love him so much. Is he's not real flashy. Great cut there.
Yeah.
Sees both defenders, bounces that, just jump, boom, gets upfield, another cut, and it takes 2 defenders to bring him down.
You know, he reminds me kind of, just looking at him, just a quick one that came to hit my mind, because, again, this is the first time I've watched him. He kind of looks like a Brian Westbrook type, you know, like growing up, it's kind of what I saw, like a smaller back, it's a little bit bigger, breaks down defenders really well, kind of smooth. Kind of see a little bit of that here.
Tears of a Washington fan. I get it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Brian Westbrook for sure.
Yeah. Here's another one. I mean, it's poor defense. The defensive line's getting kind of tossed around. They trip up, but he does a good job keeping his balance. And we talk about contact balance with him all the time. He puts that left hand down, keeps his footing, and he's somehow, like, he looks dead to rights here, and he still finds a way to get so much yardage out of it. Off 2 tackles, and even though he's getting dragged down by 2 defenders, he's still getting upfield. Another broadcast game. My fault.
Look at you. We have all 22, and you're going to broadcast. I mean, we got to hit the black market for more.
I know, right? But here's another one. Like, it's rare to see him bounce to the outside. When he does something like this, like through an arm tackle, went back too far. Sorry. Through an arm tackle, cut, spinning, still going.
So Al here is asking if he a speedster, because they feel like they need someone who could stretch the field a bit.
I mean, I would be surprised if he ran like a 4.5, 4.55 in that range. That's a pretty good time. But he did do track and field. Like, he was on the, he was in track and field in high school. I have not checked actually what his times were. I should probably do that. But yeah, I don't think he's like a true speedster. Like, if you want a true speedster, I would say like Puka Williams out of Kansas. That dude like can fly. Yeah, he ran a 2 or a 10. He ran a 100-meter dash in 10.77 seconds. So he's flying.
When I see under 11, and you see kind of like in the mid 10s, higher 10s, that's when you know a guy can fly a little bit. But
yeah, and I think I found something that like does a calculation. I don't remember it offhand. But it's like, I want to say it's like, if they're under 11, it's basically like under a 4.4, essentially. So,
yeah, and if they're kind of right around 11, like 11.02 or something, 11.1, you're kind of looking at 4.4s, maybe 4.5s.
Yeah. So one thing with North Carolina's offense, you'll see Sam Howell, who actually reminds me, for Bills fans out there, reminds me a little bit of Josh Allen in a sense. Like, he likes to take deep shots. He's got a good arm. He can put the ball on the money. Pretty mobile. Just the way he plays, it kind of reminds me of like Josh Allen, but they do a lot of quick passes as well. Diami Brown and Daz Newsome are both 2 guys to pay attention to on the outside.
Daz Newsome. Daz Newsome is great. I love Daz Newsome.
Yeah, but Diami Brown's better, but whatever.
No, he is. I'm just saying I like their whole offense. Bring their whole offense to the NFL. I'm excited for it.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, no, here he is. I mean, do I even need to say anything? Just running through tacklers, literally pushing dudes into the ground. Just one more time. Like, he makes number 7 regret getting that deep in. Like, number 7, this defensive end, he's got to get to heels depth. So he flies in way too fast, thinking, okay, maybe he's going to go right up the gut, and then he's just way too deep.
Really good use of the sniffer tight end there to set up the outside run, because usually, teams love to run behind that sniffer. Getting the sniffer to cut back on the backside gets that guy pulling in. I like it.
Yeah,
I kind of like the way they scheme up their run game. It's really it's like a power run game out of the shotgun here. A lot of duo concepts, a lot of misdirection and pin and pulls. It's actually a really nice run game. I kind of like it. Yeah,
it's that. Then they sprinkle in like a little RPO stuff, and like I know every analyst uses RPO, but like it's legit RPO.
Legit
stuff.
RPO, not ESPN, Mel Kiper RPO.
Yeah. Dot.
That's a nice pin and pull there. 73 gets around, he's able to pull around and seal that outside. And then, I'm not talking much about Williams here, but I mean, he's just tossing guys.
There's not much to talk about. I mean, you get out. I mean, talking offensive linemen, right? So we get him here. You get a pull. I think he pulls.
I think 63 pinned as well, and then it was just the pull. It was just 73. But yeah, Bills actually do a ton of this, so that would be a really nice transition if Williams were to go, because they love their pin and pull. I say Bulls, I meant Bills. Bills love their pin and pulls. That's like a staple of their offense.
Yeah, no, he would be a great fit there. I just don't think he would realistically be there unless they get. And like the only thing I can think of, and I was doing a mock draft last night, like getting my first one ready for the year, and like I was like, what if the Bills traded back? Like a Pat Fryermuth from Penn State's available. A team wants to move up and get him, like Jacksonville, let's say. They got 11 picks. They're not going to use them all. They move back into the first round. And I'm just going through a scenario for Bills fans. And the Bills move back, and then they're sitting in the front of the second round, and they get some extra picks for this year's draft. They can build and get depth and do everything that they need to do. And if they want to get flashy with their first pick and take another running back, I mean, be my guest. I don't see them doing it. They've spent consecutive years on day 2 running backs. So I doubt they do it again, but here we go. A little spin cycle. Love it.
Really like this
run. The dude's a freaking washing machine, man. Just
love this run. He presses that
spin cycle,
really well.
Running through arm tackle.
Yeah, no, he presses the hole really well there before hitting that spin move. That's a really nice. This is a really nice run because he pressed the hole, and that's what gets one that sets up that spin move, but also brings down that safety and takes away his angle on the run as well. If you look at the safety, I think it's number 9 back there. You can see that he is also committing inside because of Williams pressing on that outside hole, and that's what sets up this entire bounce out to the outside. I think we lost you there for a second, Russ. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know if everybody got what you said, but I know.
I don't know. I thought we lost you there I think we had that connection for a second.
Probably. Here's another one. This one's an actual touchdown. He had 19 touchdowns this past year, so
19 touchdowns.
Yeah. Like he only had like 1,100 yards, but 19 touchdowns.
And a couple huge games. I think wasn't it, who was it against at the end of the year? Him and Carter both just like shredded. Was it Boston College or no? Who was it?
I don't remember the exact team, but I know what you're talking about. They
combined for like 200 yards each in that game.
Like I think in total they had like 6 total touchdowns or 7 total touchdowns in that game. But yeah, like here he presses and then just finds it. Good lower body flexibility. You can just see that outside leg right there. Flexible as all hell. Makes the cut. Gets in the end.
Watch what his plant foot does to 31. 31, the linebacker here. This is how you block an unblocked defender here. 31 doesn't have a blocker on him, but Williams takes him completely out of this play here with just one quick step. 31 takes that one step outside. See, he's flowing to the outside there, reading what Williams' step, thinking that he's going to flow with the line, and Williams is able to cut back, and he gets that huge space. That's just setting up a nice little run there. That's great. And then they got the peel back from the tight end. I like their running game, man. Their running game's a blast.
Yeah, it truly is.
And they have a quarterback who might go first overall next year.
Very well could, yeah. Here he is just trucking. I think that's 31. Yeah, it's 31. So not only does it make you look foolish on the last play, he trucks him here. And he gets tackled, but still.
Wasn't Miami that they ran all over? I got to figure this out now.
Loses his balance on this run. Keeps his feet. Trucks a dude. I just, I love it. I love this dude, man. He's like, if you had a hashtag my guys for the 2021 NFL draft, he would definitely be my guy. Here he is, catching the ball. It seems like in big moments, this dude came away with big plays. Like he's gotten better every single year as a pass catcher, and this angle will definitely do it better. But he's essentially here running a wheel route, and I probably should have designed these plays beforehand, but whatever. He's running a wheel route, and he's going to just run up here. You're going to get a little jet motion, kind of turning into like a screen. He'll be out here. He clears this way, so on and so forth. But really, he's just going to have a thank you, Peter. It was Miami. This is like a key moment of the game too. Like they needed this first down. They needed that, they've got their backs against the wall, and he just draped in coverage, makes a great play, makes a great catch, a key catch. And I think this sealed the game for them, to be quite honest. So, I mean, that's all I have on Javonte Williams as far as what he is, but like you can find so many runs within his game. Like he's just an absolute blast to watch. We'll take some comments, some questions, things like that as this continues to play. But Nathan says Javonte's 40 will probably be low 4.5s to high 4.4s. Not a burner, but he has some juice. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, it could be like a 4.47. I don't know. It's what makes it interesting is like we don't get a real combine this year, so
yeah.
Like, what exact times are we going to get? Because it's all.
I could run a 4.4 this year without the combine. I mean,
this is true. I mean, I've seen you run a 4.4 at Veets, so it doesn't matter.
No, you haven't. You've seen me run a 5.4 maybe or a 6.4.
I mean, I was impaired. I don't know.
I probably was as well.
It's certainly better than Zach and Devin. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I loved Zach Moss. Don't get me wrong. I loved both those guys as well. I think you add Javonte into the mix, and I think you kind of have like a 1A, 1B, and a 1C, all very similar, I think, in a sense, as far as what they can do. Their games are kind of similar, I think, but Javonte might be the better of all three, so you're probably right.
Yeah. Honestly, it's weird because I know I've seen a lot of Bills fans talking about how they need another running back, but I don't know. Maybe personally, I never really saw. I mean, Moss and Singletary probably are what they are, and it's weird to say that for young players, but they're both pretty solid. I mean, I know the run game wasn't amazing this year for the Bills, but I think they're both pretty solid. I could definitely see adding someone with some juice. Maybe Williams isn't necessarily that guy, but he definitely has a little bit more juice than those guys. I really like his game, though. Virginia got the worst of this, man. Virginia was just tossed around by him in this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. And, like, they've got a defensive end. I don't know if he's on the field. Yeah, I mean, I've kept tabs on that guy for a couple of years now, and he's the exact same player he was 2-3 years ago when I first saw him. Like, he's like 6'7", 225, 230 or something. Like, the dude is just skin and bones, it feels like, but he gets tossed around in this, and like that here he is just making NC State look foolish, just spinning out of everybody in the box. Like a good defense on that run closes him. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this guy's I think he's a top 40 player in the draft. I'm going to be 100% honest. He's going to end up on my top 40.
Yeah, I think so. Top 40, top 50 for sure.
Yeah. Ron Beck, who are your favorite penetrating defensive tackles for the upcoming draft? Any sleepers? You want me just to take this question? I don't know. Do you have a defensive tackle you?
One guy I will say that I really like in like a one tech penetrating. Actually, his brother is probably good more as a 3-tech. But watch the Stills brothers from West Virginia. I really, really like them. Darius Stills is more of your kind of like, I think he's like 290 is what he measured this year. He'd probably get up to like 300. I think he could add a little bit of muscle and some weight to his frame. But I think he could be a penetrating 1-tech, showed a lot of juice off the snap. I really like Darius Stills. And then his I think it's his brother is who he played with there. He's also going to be in this class. I think it's Dante Stills is more of a 3-tech or an edge type guy. But I think as a penetrating 3-tech, he'd be really good. But those are the two guys I really have here. I cover the Colts, so I haven't really been watching too many defensive tackles. They're pretty set with the two guys they got.
Yeah, like I said it on a radio spot in Columbus yesterday. And yes, Nathan, that's the guy I was about to say. Davion Nixon from Iowa. That's my guy, my top defensive tackle. I think he's a a top 25 player in this class. I've seen him as high as like 10, and I think that's a little ridiculous. But yeah, no, like this defensive tackle class it's really pick your flavor, right? I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. Sometimes we have drafts like that, and I think Nixon is one of those guys. I think Marvin Wilson could be one of those guys. He was supposed to be. He just has not been the same guy. A lot of that, I think, is due to injury, and I think part of it's work ethic. Like, he just looks sloppy, looks out of shape, and that's concerning. But you have Christian Barmore, who the last 5 or 6 games of the season went on an absolute tear, was averaging, I think, like 3 or 4 quarterback pressures a game during that span. He ended up with 37, which was the top. It was 37 quarterback pressures according to Pro Football Focus. It was the top for any defensive tackle in the country. So he could be the first defensive tackle off the board. But I would say if the Bills were looking at a defensive tackle realistically, I mean, it would not surprise me by any means if he doesn't necessarily fit, but if they did look at like a Tyler Shelvin out of LSU, just because of size, like if you're looking for somebody to help stop the run, and like they don't have Star anymore. So I think Tyler Shelvin would be somewhat replicating his role, and that would help with the Bills. But yeah, this defensive tackle class, I would like to say it's deep, but I just think it's not very great at the top. I think outside of Barmore and Nixon, I think it gets a little questionable.
Yeah. I like the Stills brothers, though. Watch them. Definitely watch the Stills. I've watched maybe 30 or 40 guys in this class so far. I'm still working my way through it. Russ has probably watched a bit more than me at this point, but a couple guys I've watched that I like, I'm scanning for them pretty hard. So
yeah. Oh yeah. No, and you got to, right? So no, this was fun. I mean, I appreciate everybody for jumping in. I mean, I don't have anything else. It's just going to keep running the same clips of him trucking people. I don't think if you don't have anything else to add, I don't have anything else to add. I know our Cover One Buffalo guys are going to be jumping back on in an hour, 9 o'clock to start previewing the championship or the AFC championship game. So they'll be doing that. We'll look to do this again. Oh, you do have Star coming back. He opted out this season. Okay, appreciate that, Nick. Thank you. No way I'm keeping up with all the opt-outs in college and in the NFL. Absolutely not.
But and our teams that we actually cover and follow along with the Bills. I would love to follow the Bills more regularly. But I actually had a fun because I think you guys probably saw I was with Eric breaking down Jonathan Taylor before the Colts and Bills game. So I watched a ton of Bills games before that, and I really love the Bills. But yeah, I wish I could follow everything that they do, but we got another one here from Ron.
Love it. Patrick Jones out of Pitt. Yeah, I love him. I like Rashad Weaver as well. They've got another stacked defensive line. I mean, you could throw Jalen Twyman in the mix as well for defensive tackle if we want to get into that conversation. A little bit undersized, listed at 6'3", 280, 285. That's somewhat questionable when you talk about defensive tackle, but I think some people went into this year saying he could be the next Aaron Donald. That's just scouting the helmet and not necessarily who he is, but he is explosive. He's got a great first step. That's with Twyman. As far as Patrick Jones, love his length. He's going to be at the Senior Bowl next week, so Zach will get to see him firsthand, and he'll probably be writing about how he needs to be in Indianapolis and yada yada. But he's got good long arms. He knows how to separate. I like that he can utilize a spin move and the swim move already. Hold on, Ron. Let me get through the question. Jeez,
I love Ron. Dude, Ron's great. He's awesome. I love it.
And then just real fast, Rashad Weaver, keep tabs on this guy. I think he could be a guy that falls into the first round, 6'5", 270, every bit of it. Tore his ACL last year. He had 48 quarterback pressures this year, which was third most in college football. So I think teams on the back end are going to fall in love with him. The Bucs, even the Bills. So I think Rashad Weaver will be that guy.
I will say from what I've seen of Patrick Jones, I think I've seen a little bit.
Oh,
I
okay.
watch all the offensive tackles, and then I see Patrick Jones against these offensive tackles.
Fair point.
I think Jones, from what I've seen, he's really twitched up, super athletic. I think he's legit. But to me, what I've really seen on film, and maybe he'll stand out more in Mobile, is you'll get like 3 to 4 like rushes a game where you're like, oh crap, like this guy is legit. And then the rest of them, they kind of are quiet. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And then Weaver, I think, is very technical, kind of like Highsmith last year to a degree. But I don't think it's. I just, man, I get scared off by his athleticism. I don't think he's that great of an athlete. And I think that scares me a little bit more. Maybe I'm just an asshole when I evaluate people. That's probably more.
You're not a great athlete, okay? How about that?
Oh, I'm a horrible athlete, dude. I've put on so much
fair,
weight.
and to be, I'm just kidding. And to be fair, like I said, tore his ACL, came back, so I think it could be. I don't know. I think it'd be a little questionable there. To why he doesn't look like the athlete, but. D tackle that was 6'6", 350, but I think he was a sophomore. If you're thinking of that, I don't know if you're thinking 6'6", 350. You might have seen like 6'4", 350, which was Tionga out of BYU. The dude's an absolute wrecking ball. The dude, like Miley Cyrus comes in like a wrecking ball. The dude is just studly up the middle.
Did you guys see Greg Island's measurements at the CGS game or whatever?
No, I did not.
So if you guys don't know who Greg Island is, he's a guard out of Mississippi State. They tried him at tackle a little bit. It's not very good, but at guard, he's a wrecking ball. Like he is a bulldozer at guard.
Yeah.
But he came in at 6'7", like 360, I think, with 37-inch arms today at CGS.
Dude, that's like CJ or TJ Vasher, the receiver out of Texas Tech, dude. He's got like his wingspan's like I think it's like 87 inches or something. It's ridiculous. He's touching his
less than me. He weighs less than me, and I'm 5'10".
That's true, but he is like 6 foot.
Given again, I'm a little overweight, but he's way underweight. Okay, he's 185.
Yeah, but he gets up there and he gets it, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's not jumping. He doesn't have much weight to get up there.
Like, it's what's going to be interesting though is to see how these like height and weights just differ in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean?
Dude, a windy day, Vasher's gonna just fly away.
Oh my god! Oh, you're brutal. We're gonna end on that. Oh man.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the comments, guys. Peter, Nick, Nathan, Ron, you guys were great. We're definitely going to do a lot more of these guys, a lot more of these going forward. I know you guys, a bunch of you guys are Bills fans, so it's, you guys really aren't in that mindset right now for the draft, but we're in the draft mindset. Our teams suck. We're out of the playoffs right now, so we're we're on the draft mindset right now.
30 years going strong, baby. It's been bad, but no, I appreciate it, Zach. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Zach Hicks 2 on Twitter. Trying to get at Zach Hicks 1. It's been a 5-year fight, but at Zach Hicks 2 currently on Twitter. Focusing on some off-season stuff with the Colts. If you guys want to see some Colts stuff, I know you guys said some really nice thing about the Colts in here. Let's see. I got one right here. Wait, there we go. Nick saying that they'd win the Super Bowl this year if Luck didn't retire. Yeah, right. There we go, Nick. So you guys said some nice things about the Colts in here. I cover them on Twitter and for Stampede Blue, but I also do some draft stuff on there.
Yeah, he's a must follow, guys. So be sure to smash that follow button. Again, appreciate it. We'll do it again. Don't go too far. Cover One Buffalo is coming up next in about an hour. And of course, you guys can find me at Russ NFL Draft. Smash the follow button. Be sure to subscribe to the Cover One NFL Draft podcast. And, we'll be dropping audio stuff all draft season, and we'll have some fun there. So you guys take care. We will talk to you guys again real soon.